Well, hey, it's Chris Westfall. Welcome to my office. Have a lot of news about Medicare, things that are going to be changing for next year, and some news that you don't want to miss about a new type of Medicare fraud. Let's get right into it. So let's see what we have here on the big screen. There it is. I'm going to talk to you about breaking news. This is another new Medicare scam happening across the country. I don't want you to be affected by this. So I'm hoping that you'll share this information, not just with other people in your family, but people that you know that are on Medicare. We need them to be aware this does not need to happen to them. And here's what's happening right now.
Calls you get about your Medicare card are a scam. They always have been, they always will be. Over the last few days, we're hearing from viewers telling us how scammers have renewed their pitch about plastic Medicare cards.
I had a spam call about a plastic Medicare card being provided to me, and they wanted to know. They knew my name, my address, my phone number, and they wanted me to read off how my name was spelled on my regular Medicare card.
That caller hung up the phone. Medicare is not replacing your paper card with a plastic card or a card with a chip in it. This scam is designed to get your Medicare number and then use it to commit fraud. They could use it to get drugs or file claims for medical equipment and services using your number. Remember, Medicare will first contact you through mail if they do need to reach you. And if you get a call claiming to be from Medicare, then you have the slightest doubt about it, simply hang up and call the toll-free number, the Medicare number that's on the back of your Medicare card. I'm Brian Roach on your side, WGAL News.
Yeah, so this is a long time in the coming. Actually, I did a news interview with a local news station about this very similar thing about 3 years ago. And it's very important that you understand this from Medicare. This actual slide is really from Medicare.gov. And it just says that Medicare will not be calling you to sell you anything or to enroll you in a plan. That's not Medicare. I just saw a statement from a client the other day on Facebook that said that they had received 10 calls in one day from people that were, some of them claiming to actually be from Medicare. It's illegal for us to make phone calls, outbound phone calls, to try to solicit you onto a Medicare plan. Completely illegal. So it's not going to be a legitimate agent that's doing that, first of all. Medicare will never contact you for your Medicare number. Just not going to happen where they're going to call you on the phone. They'll never call you to sell you anything. As a matter of fact, when you sign up for, if you're doing a Part D drug plan, a standalone Part D drug plan this coming enrollment period, many of the insurance companies will call you. They actually outsource that. And these firms will call you and tell you that you need to switch into an all-in-one plan to try to get you to give up your Part D plan. Sometimes they pose as Medicare. And if you get a call from somebody promising you to do things for you on Medicare, not going to happen. Medicare will never knock on your door, have a little ID card saying they're from Medicare and they need to get information from you. That's not Medicare. It's probably an agent trying to sell you on something, and we don't want that to happen. So if you have any questions or concerns about something that may be fraud, right here's the phone number for Medicare. It's 800-633-4227. And I'll give you a little tip about calling Medicare. When you call Medicare, either check on what plan you're on to look at your drugs for next year, which you can do after October 1st and enroll after October 15th. When you're calling Medicare directly, call them late at night. They have call centers across the country, and they're busy during the day, especially during the annual election period, which is October 15th through December 7th. More on that in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. But if you call them late at night, you're way more likely to get through with no waiting. So call Medicare late at night if you have to call them to report a fraud or to check on your benefits and that kind of thing. Now, real quick recap, because what I'm about to tell you are some significant news stories pertaining to one of these two choices that you have when you're starting on Medicare. You're either turning 65 or you've been working past the age of 65. You have a choice to go down one of two paths, either original Medicare, this is what it shows in the Medicare and You guidebook. You've either got original Medicare, or you've got Medicare Advantage, which is where you give up original Medicare and the rights and privileges that you have on original Medicare, and you opt into a private system. On Medicare Advantage, you have to continue to pay for your original Medicare. You have originally pay for your Part B either way, but you don't get the benefits of Part B if you're on Medicare Advantage. You have to comport to those rules on that plan with regard to limitations on network, with referrals possibly required, with prior authorization definitely required. Those are all unique to Medicare Advantage. Now, they do have a lot of perks on Medicare Advantage, and that's where they make the sales pitch, but it's the crux of the matter, which is your health, what your doctor is allowed to treat you for, what your hospital is allowed to treat you for. That's the big difference between Medicare and Medicare Advantage, because with original Medicare, your doctor is the decider. With Medicare Advantage, the health plan itself, the private company is the decider, and all investigations into the past, including the Office of Inspector General, continues to find that it's the profit motive, that difference between what they're paid by the government, which is about $1,000 a month for your care on Medicare Advantage. It's that difference between what they're paid and what they have to pay out, which is why they're squeezing people and not paying sometimes where they should. I want to talk about some Medicare Advantage shakeups in the industry, things that are happening that could affect you. One is that this story in Oregon has really impacted way more people than I thought it was going to. We've got lots and lots of calls from people that are Oregonians saying this was our only place to go. And if it's not a part of the Medicare Advantage system, because they're pulling out of accepting Medicare Advantage for next year altogether, and I'll show you in just a second why. It's pretty revealing. This is really going to impact a lot of people. And what people don't understand is when you go back to the differences here, you're going to look at the difference of Medicare or Medicare Advantage. Medicare Advantage can and does, they do change their networks every single year. Some doctors will come in, some doctors will fall out. And they do this not during your plan year, which technically starts January 1 to December 31. They can change those benefits. By that, I mean the network, anytime during the year they want. They can actually change your drugs from one tier to another also, but we'll talk about drugs later. But Medicare Advantage does change. This is more of this happening. And if you search the news every day like I do about things having to do with Medicare, we're just now starting to see what's going to unroll for 2024. And this is one of the big ones. As soon as October, when people are changing their Medicare Advantage plans, this is going to be impacting them. So I want to show you another one. And I already talked about that one. But before I get there, watch how this is impacting some serious people.
The dispute between Bon Secours and Anthem is about to get even uglier. Good evening, I'm Regina Mobley.
And I'm Stephanie Hudson. Bon Secours went out of network with Anthem for its Medicare patients earlier this month. Now the hospital system says it will go out of network for Anthem Medicaid patients on October 1st. Here's what I found out today about the negotiations and what you need to know if you're one of these patients. The gloves are coming off as Bon Secours and Anthem duke it out over money. And some of Hampton Road's most vulnerable patients are on the ropes. 11,000 Anthem Medicare patients are now out of network, and 35,000 Medicaid patients could be on October 1st.
They're really in a state of panic, and I think that they really just want to know how to stay with us or how to facilitate care elsewhere.
Dr. Anand Kapoor sees patients who are affected but is not involved in negotiations.
We have a mission that's dear to my heart, helping the underserved, good help to those in needs. And I think that we do a really good job at it.
But Anthem accuses Bon Secours of using vulnerable patients as pawns to negotiate better reimbursements in the private sector.
I can't imagine how scary this is for our members. And so we try to stand in their shoes every single day.
Company president Monica Schmuti says Bon Secours is demanding money from employer-based plans to keep the others. She uses a family cell phone plan as an analogy.
And if you don't pay more, in this situation, the company is threatening to cut off service for maybe your mother or your daughter or your spouse.
The hospital system strongly denies that, telling Wavy via email, "We're advocating for our ability to continue providing access to high-quality care to some of our most vulnerable communities." Bon Secours says its labor costs are up nearly 10%, operating costs almost 7%, and Anthem's reimbursement rates are substantially less, they say, than other insurance providers. As the two sides continue to trade punches, neither want any patients out for the count and offer help to keep them in the fight for their own health and well-being. Right now, Medicaid and private employer-based Anthem patients are still in network with Bon Secours. If you're worried about losing your provider in October and you have questions about how to keep them.
So this, what I was talking about, the lowest payer is hurting hospitals big time because Medicare Advantage plans want to pay the least amount they possibly can. You're going to see this affect, it already has been affecting rural hospitals in a far more profound way. Farley, I just made up a new word. Imagine that.
When we first heard that Mercy had decided to close this hospital permanently, the community was in a state of shock. Anger, disappointment. We thought it would always be here. When bad things happen in our lives, we like to blame people. And there was a lot of finger pointing.
In rural towns across the U.S., hospitals are in crisis. Just take Mercy Hospital Fort Scott, a nonprofit 46-bed facility in southeast Kansas. After 130 years, the hospital didn't have enough money to keep going. For the community, the news was crushing.
When we got the announcement that the hospital was closing, myself and my wife, we were devastated. We were like, okay, well, that's the worst thing we've heard. The community took it hard as well. The CEO would get death threats, even though it wasn't her fault.
So let's look at why. Let's look deep into the reason why Medicare Advantage is causing this problem. You don't think it's Medicare Advantage? I've got the goods to show you. This article came out at the end of August 2023. Rural hospitals feel the squeeze from Medicare Advantage. Already struggling rural hospitals see an increasing financial threat from the steady growth in Medicare Advantage enrollments. It's not just happenstance that this is happening. Actually, here's the actual article. Already struggling rural hospitals are seeing an increased financial threat from Medicare Advantage. Why it matters? Lacking the bargaining power of their larger peers, larger hospitals, who can depend on commercial payers to turn a profit. Some rural hospitals are losing money on private coverage like Medicare Advantage. The Medicare's alternative popularity with seniors is cutting into typically better funding source for rural hospitals, which is traditional Medicare. What it just said right there is traditional Medicare pays more for the hospitals than Medicare Advantage. As hundreds of rural hospitals face down financial calamity, driving the news, almost 200 rural hospitals have closed since 2005, and more than 600 rural hospitals are at risk of closure because they lose money on patient services and have low cash reserves, according to a recent report from Center for Healthcare Quality. 300 of those facilities are at risk of immediate closure. 300. Poor reimbursement from commercial plans and Medicare Advantage is largely to blame, rural hospital leaders say. There's the article if you want to read it for yourself. It'll be in the description here too. How it works. For most other hospitals, Medicare payment is based on a predetermined fixed amount that's usually below what private insurance pays for the same service. Medicare has a discount, obviously, based on commercial insurance compared to it. But for rural hospitals, like critical access hospitals that are smaller and in typically underserved communities, Medicare pays more because their reimbursement is tied to the actual cost of the services. But Medicare Advantage is different. Why do I say this? Why am I even bringing this up? I'm bringing it up because you need to know that if you're going to choose a health system for you going forward for the rest of your life on Medicare, if you make the wrong choice, it's a very good possibility that you can't get it back into the other choice. Could you drop Medicare Advantage if you haven't? Yes, you could drop it. But what that leaves you with is just original Medicare, which means you're going to pay 20% of all your Part B bills forever, 20% with no cap on it. So yeah, you could leave Medicare Advantage. The question is, could you then get a Medigap plan, a Medicare supplement plan, which simply covers what Medicare itself doesn't cover? Do they cost more? Yes, they absolutely do. But again, it's your doctor making the call, whether you get admitted, whether you get the procedure, or whether you get the surgery or the MRI or the CAT scan or the blood work, whatever it is. It's not somebody in a private company telling you we're going to cut costs at all levels so that we can save the most money and make the most profit. But I digress. That's why it's important to you. If you're picking a health plan and hospitals are dropping like flies, hospitals are dropping the Medicare Advantage plans like flies, it may affect you at some point in the future. And I just want you to be fully informed. This information, by the way, is out there for anybody and everybody to search and watch every single day. I find it ironic that none of my competitors are doing that. Why? Because we make almost twice as much the money if I sell you a Medicare Advantage plan when you're new to Medicare as I would if I help you with a Medicare supplement, or just show you all the rest of them like we do. We'll show you both sides of it. I just want you to know and be in the know as to what's happening in the real world when you choose a Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare Advantage is different. Hospitals must contract with each Medicare Advantage plan separately, as they do with commercial plans. That can be challenging for a rural hospital lacking the resources or staffing capacity to negotiate better contracts. Small rural hospitals in California lost more money on services for Medicare Advantage patients than Medicare patients. They're losing money. Medicare Advantage accounted for the most profit loss for kind of insurance for small facilities, nearly double the losses experienced by those facilities for traditional Medicare patients. In Tennessee, where rural hospitals actually make money on commercial payers, they still lose money on Medicare Advantage patients at about an 18% profit loss on average. The truth is, this is a quote, the truth is, the more we do for patients covered by commercial payers, including Medicare Advantage, the more money we lose, said Paul Taylor, CEO of Ozark Community Hospital. He wrote an open letter in March. So it's just interesting to me that on Medicare Advantage plans, they pay less. The hospitals get less. Hospitals are shutting down, or in the case of the one in Oregon, and that's just one of many, I've covered them before here, they just continue to dribble out. Hospitals are saying, no, I can't do Medicare Advantage anymore. So this is an interesting article that just came out about Medicare Advantage disenrollments. And what it found, many Medicare Advantage beneficiaries disenroll from their plans within 5 years of enrolling, a study found. The study analyzed disenrollment patterns for 82 million individuals enrolled in Medicare Advantage in a 9-year period. After 1 year, 13% of them had already disenrolled from their plan. I wonder why. And almost 16% of beneficiaries in dual eligible, that means they're on Medicare and Medicaid at the same time, they disenrolled in their plan. Let me see if we can get out of the way a little bit over here. Contracts with 5-star quality ratings from CMS and 5-star quality Medicare Advantage plans are very rare. If you have one, congratulations, because it means that they're providing the most care, the least amount of denials, and the customer service reviews are great from people. Those are wonderful to have. Had much lower disenrollment rates, with 23% of employees leaving by the 5-year mark. This number was 41.2% in 4.5-star rated plans, and 67% had left already from 3 to 3.5-star rated contracts. Black Medicare beneficiaries were more likely to disenroll from their plans than their white counterparts, the study found. After 5 years, 52.6% of Black enrollees had left their plans, compared to 40.7% of their white beneficiaries. Most beneficiaries who disenrolled from one Medicare Advantage plan enrolled in a different Medicare Advantage option rather than traditional Medicare, the study found. So the question to me is, why are they leaving one plan and have to go to another? Well, I just alluded to that. I'll talk about that more in a minute. But every year, the Medicare Advantage plans can change, not just their network, as we've seen. They can drop hospitals. They can drop doctors. They can also change their benefits, and some of them do dramatically. If a plan to them is not making as much money, they'll just change the benefits dramatically. And if you don't pay attention, I'll talk about what you need to pay attention to in just a second. If you don't pay attention this time of the year and you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, then shame on you. It takes you 2 or 3 years to realize this plan's gotten freaking horrible. What am I doing on this plan still? Now I have to wait until the end of the year to opt to change to a different plan. All these people, up to 67%, have changed their plan already in the 3 to 4 year period we're talking about. Given the high level of disenrollment, this is a quote, within 3 to 5 years in this study, plans may financially benefit by increasing the coding intensity in a short period while avoiding interventions to address chronic concerns in which potential benefits may take time to materialize and accrue to competing insurers, the researchers said. What does that mean? It means that if the plan already knows you're going to leave, why would they invest the time to fix you over a long period of time? Why would they invest in chronic disease management for you, which is a long-term output where it's going to save them money eventually? Why would they put that money in on a short term if they already know you're going to leave the plan? So you can read the full study. I've got a link to it below. If you can't see that, I can move my big head out of the way. It's there. It'll also be in the description to the video. And this is the interesting part. The study analyzed 82 million people. That is a huge, huge study. And after 5 years, 48.3% had already left the plans. And I went through that. Yes. And I've got more information about upcoming changes to Medicare that you need to be aware of. But if you would take just a second, and please like this video. Why? Because I take a lot of time to research what's going on. I read through hundreds of articles every single day on what's happening with Medicare and bring you the most important ones, so that if you've made a choice to be on one of these types of Medicare plans, at least you know what's coming around the corner, and maybe you can protect yourself by changing plans or consulting our office, which we will do for free. You can call us anytime and we'll look at your benefits that you have right now. There's the phone number right down there. You can call our office 24 hours a day. We're not here 24 hours a day, but you can leave a message. You can go to our website, fill out a form that we can contact you securely. We don't share your information. We don't try to sell you anything. We try to educate you on what your options are for Medicare. And again, please like this video so other people can see it and avoid scams that we've been talking about and have the full picture when it comes to what their options are on Medicare when you're new to Medicare. Annual notice of change. We call it in the industry the ANOC letter, ANOC. This letter is supposed to be delivered to you by the end of September every year. And what it talks about is what's happening with your summary of benefits, what copays are changing, what hospital copay, what daily charge on your admission, what specialist copays are changing. And if you've got a Medicare Advantage plan with a Part D plan wrapped into it, it's an all-in-one plan, what's changing on your prescription drugs. There are a lot of changes happening in the prescription drug market for 2024. WellCare, I'm not going to tell you about any specific benefits. I'm just telling you, WellCare just released some pre-market season numbers, and they're really getting in there to fight hard for the Part D business specifically. Other carriers are raising their rates up to 60% for next year. So I'm telling you, if you've got a Part D drug plan, which falls under the heading of Medicare Advantage, while you enjoy a Medicare supplement to go anywhere you want to for your health care and not be restricted, if you've got a Part D drug plan by itself, you better pay close attention this year for your annual notice of change. If you've got a Medicare Advantage plan, this is where all of your copays are going to be detailed as to what's going to happen. What it doesn't show in your annual notice of change is what the network is going to look like on your Medicare Advantage plan. And I would tell you, based on 25, 26 years of experience in this industry, I'll tell you that all the stuff that we get October 1 and that you've received by now, if you've got your annual notice of change, those regarding the network and regarding the drug tiers and the drugs on the formulary, those still can change all the way up until October 15th. So last year we had a couple of carriers that said, here's our formulary, here's where the drugs are going to cost, here's what the copays are going to be. And then October 1 came, it's supposed to be locked in, right? No, October 15th, they change everything. And they say, whoops, sorry, it was a data feed miscalculation between us and CMS and things just got messed up. I would encourage you, as you're looking at your drug plan or you're even looking at your Medicare Advantage plan, don't be an early adopter. Don't get on that first appointment on October 15th and say, this is what I want, and then jump into that plan. I would give it at least a couple of weeks to shake out so they can get all their data feeds correct. And if you're looking at a doctor, this is so important. And I'm telling you, this comes from experience and dealing with people who've gone through this. If you're looking at a doctor and you're making your health plan decision, your Medicare Advantage plan, based on this doctor is going to be in my plan, and you're looking in October, you better look again in November, and you better look again in early December, because a little known fact is if you choose a Medicare Advantage plan for next year, and they'll all start on January 1 with a brand new contract, regardless of what you had before. And if you just leave it alone, it's going to roll over into whatever they want to put you in. So I don't advise you to just leave it alone, throw it away in the desk drawer and forget about it. You should look at this every year. It's literally your life that's on the line. So look at your annual notice of change. Look at the doctors and hospitals that you expect to be in your plan, but look the last week of December also. Why am I saying that? All the agents are freaking out saying, oh my God, they're going to find this stuff out and then get back in here and try to change their plan all the last week. I'm telling you this because I care about our audience and I care about our clients. Your network for the next year may literally change between October 1st and December 7th, which is the midnight deadline for choosing your Medicare Advantage plan for the next year. Now, all my Medicare supplement clients, a lot of them are saying, now, what do I need to do? I've got a Medicare supplement plan. Nothing. You don't have to do anything. Your Medicare supplement benefits are not changing. I'm not showing you news stories about the changes to Medicare supplement every day because they don't change. Your Medicare supplement continues to renew. The only thing you have to do is continue to pay your premiums. They're guaranteed renewable. No matter how sick you get, no matter how often you go in the hospital, the health plan cannot then say, you've been too sick, we're going to cut off your benefits. And for next year, we're going to raise your copays. We're going to raise your cost to go in the hospital. Does not happen on Medicare supplement. So if you can do us all a favor in the entire industry, and I'm speaking for tens of thousands of agents, if you've got a Medicare supplement plan, if you can pause on this one, the annual enrollment period, let me show you what those dates are. AEP, the annual election period for the next year, has to do with drug plans and Medicare Advantage plans. Nothing to do with Medicare supplement plans. You don't need to call the office and say, I need to review my Medicare plan because Medicare put a video out on TV that says, now's the time to review your plan, review your plan over and over and over and over again. Not a Medicare supplement. Literally everybody that we've helped in our entire lives, Medicare lives, on Medicare Advantage are all going to clamor in, jam the phone lines, and they're going to jam our forms, and we're going to jam our calendar trying to review their Medicare Advantage options for the next year. And all of our Medicare supplement people could just wait until December 8th through October next year, because your benefits never change. Now, if you have a Medicare supplement and this period of time is coming, and you get a notice that, hey, the first of next month, your rate's going to go up by a couple of dollars, bear in mind, there's no period in which you have to take action right this minute. You don't have to do anything right this minute. You literally could do it for December, for January, for February. But what I'm telling you is all the phone lines at Medicare, all of our phone lines, all of our emails, all of our calendars are going to be jam-packed reviewing just Medicare Advantage plans for that population between October 15th and December 7th. So I would ask you, if you are one of our clients, please don't do Medicare supplement things during this period of time, because you don't have to. Now, if you're new to Medicare and you've got the world as your oyster, we're happy to take the time and go over all the options, show you this path, show you that path, show you what the cost would be, see if your doctor's involved, if you're choosing a network-based plan, if you're choosing Medicare supplement, you don't have to do that and skip that whole part. But if you're new to Medicare, we want to help you year round. There's no doubt. I'm just saying that if you're thinking about reviewing your Medicare supplement because of all the TV commercials, you don't have to do that during this period of time. Nothing changes with the supplement. This is only regarding your Medicare Advantage plan. And this is actually from Medicare themselves. Let me get this up so you can actually see it. Talking about the times of the year and what you can do during those times of the year. Make myself small. During what they call, and this makes everybody confused, they call it the open enrollment period. It's really not. Technically, the open enrollment period is their first time brand new eligible for Medicare. That's your initial election period. That's your open enrollment period. And that's when it's critically important that you choose then which path you're going to go. Is it original Medicare? Any doctor, any hospital, anywhere you want to go that accepts Medicare. Doctors cannot be restrained from giving you health care or telling you what you're eligible for. You don't have to have referrals. You don't have to have prior authorizations. You just get what you need right now without having to wait for the health plan to approve it. Or you could go to Medicare Advantage, which is cheaper, in some cases, no premium whatsoever. And they throw all the gotchas, the gimmies at you to try to entice you to come into those plans and literally give up what you would get from Part A and Part B of Medicare, even though you have to continue to pay your Part B premium to get a Medicare Advantage plan. So this period of time, October 15th through December 7th, is when you choose on the Medicare Advantage world what you're going to have for January of the next year. You can join, drop, or switch to another Medicare Advantage plan. You can switch from original Medicare to Medicare Advantage plan. Let me talk about that for a second. If you've been a client of ours for years and you have a Medicare supplement, your premium's been increasing to the point you can no longer afford your Medicare supplement premium. This may be the year. Let's just all be adults about it. Would you love to have caviar for the rest of your life? Yes. But with the cost of inflation, with the cost of everything doing what it's doing right now, can everybody continue to afford the best of the best out there? Reality tells me no. And so this year, I am certain of the fact that many of our clients will choose, hey, for the first time, I need to look at those Medicare Advantage options. I can no longer afford this big premium. And let's see how we can best mitigate and get on the best plan that might be tailored to you for the most cost-effective solution within that world. So that's what we're going to be doing for a lot of our clients. We already know that. If you're on a Medicare supplement, you can no longer afford it. We need to have that conversation. We can have it during this period of time so we can see what all those options are for you. You can reach out to us. We won't be calling you about that. I mentioned that before. You can join a Medicare drug plan that's also known as a Part D standalone drug plan. If you're in original Medicare, you can get a drug plan if you didn't have one before. You can switch from one drug plan to another. Now, this is the only time of the year you can change your drug plan. So it's critically important. We have a website that can do that for you. It's called startpartd.com. Let me see if I can find it on here and scroll that for you. It's called startpartd.com. And you can see what those are. And it looks like I can't find them. And wait a minute, there they are. Start Part D, and you can look at what the drug plans are for next year. There we go. There it is. So you can look at that site from October 15th through December 7th. It is so simple to do it. It's the same thing that our agents do in here, but you can do it online. You can do it at 3 o'clock in the morning. You put in your drugs, or if you want Medicare Advantage plan, you put in your drugs and you put in your doctors. You put in your hospitals. You say, this looks like the best plan, because it'll show them side by side. You choose whichever plan you want and you simply enroll directly, just like you would do at Medicare.gov, but you could use our tool and then we become your agent for the drug plan or the Medicare Advantage plan. So you can change your drug plan. It's very important that you look at the drug plans. Again, lots of competition in the drug plan space. Some are running away with 60% rate increases. Others are reducing their premium to nearly nothing for next year. Important to look at that. Big changes. Don't just let it sit there like most people do. Then there's a period after the annual enrollment period, which is October 15th through December 7th. This comes again next year. And I think it's important on an education basis for you to know what this next period of time is, because with this next period of time, you can have a do-over, which means, like I talked about before, you look for your Medicare Advantage network and you see, hey, your doctor's on that plan. Fantastic. You're looking in October. You want to get this done early. You're an early bird. You can put it to rest and you're done October. If in November you look again and the doctor's no longer in the network, or if in December you look again, the doctor's no longer in the network, whatever you do before December 7th, you can do another enrollment, is what I'm saying. You could choose a second plan before December 7th at midnight. December 7th at midnight, whatever you've chosen goes into effect January 1. You're done. January 1, you're done. However, they brought this period back, which was known as the Medicare Advantage disenrollment period. Now they're calling it another confusing term, thank you, CMS, called Medicare Advantage open enrollment period. What was the other open enrollment period? That was for Medicare Advantage also, but this was also for Medicare Advantage. Okay, it's literally a disenrollment period. If you found out you did something wrong and you want to go to a different Medicare Advantage plan, or you want to kick it all together and go back to original Medicare, and if you had a Medicare supplement, you can get that back if you've lost it only within the last 30 or 60 days, depending on the carrier. You can get that supplement back. If you've experienced the Medicare Advantage plan and you find out it's not for me, or I found another one that I want to go to. This period of time from January 1 to March 31. Now, we cannot advertise it. We cannot call you about it. We cannot send them in an email to all of our clients and say, hey, did you sign up for a plan you don't like? You can go to another plan, because we cannot market this period of time. It's against the law. But for purely educational purposes, I want you to know they exist, because this page literally comes from the Medicare and You Guidebook, which is right there on my desk. We consult it nearly daily. This period of time exists. And many agents are not going to want you to know about it, because they want that sale locked in December 7th, baby. Whatever you done December 7th, they expect to get paid on that in January. However, you can change your plan. You can switch to another Medicare Advantage plan with or without drug coverage as a component, or you can drop your Medicare Advantage plan and go back to original Medicare, or you can join a drug plan. So this is interesting. You can't just join a drug plan during this period of time. This is misleading. You can't just join a Part D plan if you didn't have one before. You can only join a drug plan, a standalone Part D drug plan, if you opted to drop your full Medicare Advantage plan. So if you drop your Medicare Advantage plan, you say, what am I going to do about drugs now? The good news is, under that stipulation alone, if you drop your Medicare Advantage plan during this period of year, which is January 1 through March 31, then and only then, during that period, you can start a drug plan. And what happens is, if you make that election happen, and we can walk you through that process. If you call us, we can't call you. If you call us and you say, look, I've made a boo-boo, I made a mistake, I want to go back to original Medicare, or I want to look in a different Medicare Advantage plan because I don't trust my agent, what he told me, we can help you with that if you reach out to us. And on the drug plan component, you can get one if you were going to drop your Medicare Advantage plan. So you're not going to be left out in the cold. And it happens on the first of the month. All those changes would happen, either starting a Medicare supplement, starting a different Medicare Advantage plan, or starting a drug plan alone if you go back to original Medicare. That all happens on the first of the next month. This is our crew. This is the Senior Savings Network. We are a group of people based in Charleston, South Carolina, but we're licensed in 47 of the 50 states, and we have friends to refer people to in the places where we don't do business, which is specifically Washington, D.C., Massachusetts, Hawaii. But we help people everywhere. And we're going to tell you the honest truth about all the plans. Agents get on to me all the time because we cost them sales. Matter of fact, we have a call today, and I won't say who it is, but we had a call today from an agent that works for a Medicare Advantage call center. And it's in the great state of Mississippi. I'm going to say hi to you, but I won't say what your name is. And this agent that works at a Medicare Advantage only call center wants a Medicare supplement plan through us, but her employer won't let them write Medicare supplement plans. Now, how wrong is that? Why won't they let them write Medicare supplement plans? They won't, because when you look at the road less traveled, let's see if I can go back there. Right there. Of the two options, Medicare supplements pay us about 22% commission of the monthly premium. Oh my gosh. Well, we don't run a nonprofit. We actually are in business to help people. And by just helping people, we get paid. We don't get paid by you. We get paid by the insurance company. And now you're going to think, if you were my grandfather, I'm just going to go right to the insurance company and cut out the middleman, cut out the broker like you, Chris. No problem if you want to, but you're going to pay the same rate. The rates are the same if you go direct to the insurance company, or you have an advocate on your behalf like me, and my office can help you as you go down the road. We can check on you as we do during the renewal periods to see if there's something better in the market. Our loyalty is not to a brand or an insurance company. Our loyalty is to our clients. So if it doesn't cost you anymore and our service is free, then why not use a broker anyway, rather than having to get a hold of a quote engine or the one that's on Medicare.gov that is not accurate whatsoever on the Medicare supplement side. Medicare.gov's wheelhouse is Medicare Advantage. CMS, their wheelhouse, that phone number that I put up there to call CMS and report fraud, they know Medicare Advantage. They don't know supplements. Supplements are done on a state-by-state level. That's why my office trains on Medicare all year long. And when we add a new state or we get an agent that's licensed in a new state, we have an in-depth training on what's unique to that state for those people so that we know. We become your local choice. And all you have to do is call our phone number. So, and I took the phone number off there. Wouldn't it be great, Chris, if you left the phone number so people, okay. So the phone number's there. We can help you on either one, Medicare Advantage or Medicare Supplement, but you just need an honest person that doesn't cost you anything to get the same level of service. And I didn't finish the thought. The thought is, why is it that agents or agencies will focus in call centers and all the commercials you're seeing on TV right now? All of them focus on Medicare Advantage only, because it literally will pay me, if I wrote you on a Medicare Advantage plan, twice as much money to sign you up when you're new to Medicare on a Medicare Advantage plan as it would to put you on a Medicare supplement. And yet you'll see so many call centers out there focused on one thing only. That's the Advantage world. I don't think you can be doing your clients a service at all if you're only showing Medicare Advantage as the option and saying, the best news is it doesn't cost anything. Sure, you pay as you go, but they won't make you sign a document saying that you understand you're going to be subject to prior authorization and more than 75% of the procedures that are out there and necessary that you need to have done, which means you should search prior authorization on my channel and see the doctor after doctor after doctor after doctor after doctor in the American Medical Association saying, this cost us time. It cost us money. We can't get to our patients because we're on the phone on hold with an insurance company, a Medicare Advantage company, trying to get our patients the care and the drugs and everything that they need. That is solely dependent on which type of way you go here. If you go Medicare supplement, you'll never deal with prior authorization. I take that back. There is one instance in which you would, and that's durable medical equipment. Like if you need a wheelchair, cane, or walker, because that industry itself, DME, is rife with fraud. So yeah, they're going to double check on the durable medical equipment in the real Medicare world because they pay billions out in fake claims. I know a lot of people in jail for that. See them in the news all the time. But for everything else, I need an x-ray, I need a CAT scan, I need an MRI, I need a surgery because my back is killing me. Medicare supplement, go get it. Go get on with the best surgeon you can possibly get because they're going to be in Medicare. Now, is that best surgeon you can possibly get going to be in your Medicare Advantage HMO network? Maybe not. And even if they are, they're going to have to go through the prior authorization process for you, which can take up to 2 weeks to get a decision. And then if they say no, because they want you to try something easier, cortisone shots, physical therapy, try all the cheap stuff first until they're satisfied that what your doctor said originally was enough for them. Once they've ruled out everything cheap, then they'll maybe give you the ultimate treatment that you need. You think that I'm just blowing smoke? I've shown you on this channel hundreds of times, more than 300 in fact, case study after case study after case study, and reviewed, peer-reviewed studies and articles showing this is not just a one-off thing. But if you're healthy and you love your Medicare Advantage plan, because you do if you're healthy, that's great. More power to you. We can help with both. I'm just letting you know, and in an unbiased way, but by golly, we're going to tell you the truth. Whoo! I'm passionate about helping people, really am. And we're here just to serve you. So if we can help you in any way, please reach out. Otherwise, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.